Hi Pisces, welcome to your December 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I actually won't be offering those until around the second week of December. So just keep an eye out for an update from me on the channel as far as when that'll be. Like I said, I'm not sure the exact date, but it will definitely be somewhere in that second week of December. All right, as far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually attempt to pull some oracle cards to get some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as for the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Alright, so with all that out of the way, past energy on your side, we have the Nine of Staves. So this is actually in a Sagittarius energy, excuse me. It represents the middle 10 degrees of Sagittarius, which is your 10th house. And this is also an energy of being guarded. So a few different ways this could be playing out. One way could just be saying that maybe this was someone that you've had some arguments with in the past, so maybe you were on guard because of that. Because if I think about the traditional Nine of Wands artwork, the person has a bandage on their head and it looks like they're just waiting for their shoe to drop. So it could just be someone that you've had arguments with before. But that seems a little less likely than what I'm primarily picking up on, which could just be saying that you were really guarded toward the connection in the past. And most likely because you might have just been too wrapped up with stuff going on in your career. And the reason I say that could be the case is because you guys have Neptune in your sign, and it's in the middle 10 degrees of Pisces. And a lot of the time that Jupiter was moving through Sagittarius, it was actually making a square aspect with Neptune. And Sagittarius is your 10th house of career. So you guys just got had a lot going on with career, or maybe even some uncertainty around career to where you had to put a lot of your focus there and probably couldn't put as much focus into your relationships at the time. Past energy on their side, we have the Judgment card. So this could say that this is them possibly having coming back around in the past, and as far as when, would make sense that it might have happened during the Mercury retrograde. I'm actually recording this as Mercury's finally going direct in November, but maybe that's what this is pointing to, that maybe this is saying this was them coming back around in the past and you guys were guarded towards opening up to the connection. That could be what's at play there. And to me, I view this as a bit of a Scorpio energy too, so it would definitely make sense if that was when it took place. In the present position, we have the Princess of Arrows. So this is actually the equivalent of the Page of Swords, which usually represents reaching out to communicate to someone, and usually that energy does come across as a bit shy, a bit unsure of itself, not sure how they'll be received. So, it could be as simple as when they came back around, you were a bit guarded and maybe you didn't really respond, or maybe you gave them a bit of a cold shoulder, and now maybe, especially since Jupiter will be moving out of your 10th house of career, maybe now with that pressure off of that area of your life in the present, maybe now you're actually ready to communicate to this person, but you could be a little unsure of how to go because, if you feel like, well, they came back around and I kind of blew them off, you might be a little bit unsure about how you be received. That could be what this energy is pointing to there. I will say towards the end of the month, there will actually be a new moon in Capricorn, and it'll actually be trine Uranus, which is in Taurus, and that's your house of communication. So you could have some luck around communication around that time, if nothing else. On their side, we have the Ten of Wands. So, speaking of the last 10 degrees of Sagittarius, this is actually what this card represents here. But, to me, this could just represent the fact that maybe they're actually willing to put in the work toward this connection. And maybe in that regard, they view it a bit, as a bit of a serious connection between the two of you. Sometimes the Ten of Wands energy can be viewed as a bit of a burden type energy, but here I'm getting the idea it's more someone who's willing to put in work, and probably the passion between the two of you could be pretty high as well. As we see here, with this artwork taken into consideration, doesn't look like neither one of them are, struggling too much. Looks like they're enjoying themselves, so that could be what's coming up there. And future energy on your side, we have the Two of Coins and the Queen of Arrows. So this is actually the court card for Libra energy. And then the Two of Coins is actually the Two of Pentacles, represents the first 10 degrees of Capricorn. So this could just be saying that maybe you're on the fence about actually being in a relationship with this person or just staying friends with them. Could also just be saying it's a hot and cold dynamic that the two of you have going on. And the reason I say that is if we look at the Two Pentacles, we see the one heart is red and then the other one just looks like it's grayed out. So that makes me think of the hot and cold vibe there. And then with the Queen of Arrows representing Libra, which is your 8th house, this could just be saying that, maybe you guys have a really good connection sexually, but maybe you're just wondering, all right, on a more tangible level, right? And maybe that's what the Pentacles are speaking to here. You're like, oh, I don't know if we could really make anything serious of it, right? But maybe you just have a lot of good sex, basically, for lack of a better way of saying it. I will say this is, in this particular deck, this card is represented by Venus too, though. So, I'm trying to think. Well, Venus will be moving into your 12th house in December, but it'll be in Capricorn, so this could be a friend of yours too. It could be like a friend where maybe you guys are exploring, taking it to the next level. And maybe that's even what it was. This person wanted to take it to the next level with you, and maybe that's where you were a bit guarded, like, yeah, I don't know if I'm really ready for that. So it's another dynamic that could have been playing out. Future energy on their side, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is actually a Taurus energy here. And usually this is an energy of someone who's invested quite a bit into something and they're trying to decide if they want to continue to put in that effort or not. Now that's with the traditional tarot anyway. Here it looks like they're definitely a lot more relaxed and, enjoying themselves, but that could be what's at play there. And given that Taurus is your 3rd house, again, it could just be pointing to maybe there's going to be a lot of communication between the two of you. So could be as simple as that, where maybe the two of you have that discussion, like, okay, well, are we better off just staying friends, or can we take it to the next level? That might be what's at play there. And as far as the cards at the bottom of the deck for your side, we have the Prince of Staves, and this is actually a card that represents Sagittarius, court card of Sagittarius. So again, could just be emphasizing what I was saying, that maybe you guys were just too focused on career in the past, and maybe that was part of the main obstacle with this connection. And it could represent travel as well, though. So maybe this is someone who lives at a distance from you, and maybe you guys are going to travel to see them, or vice versa. And then the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Six of Chalices. So this is the Six of Cups, and this could just be pointing to maybe what I was saying there, as far as maybe they reached out to you. Maybe this is an ex of yours, and maybe you guys hadn't spoken for a while, for example. Maybe they tried to reconnect in the past. That could be primarily what that's pointing to there. But especially given that this is a Scorpio card also, and that is where the Mercury retrograde was taking place. But yeah, that could be what's at play there. Could just be emphasizing the fact that they were most likely the ones who did reach out in the past because they were missing you. And like I said, I'm really picking up on the vibe that this was something that started during the retrograde. All right, so we'll see if we could get some additional messages from the Oracle cards. First, I'll see if we could get any from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck here. And for those of you who haven't seen this type of reading from me before, what I do is actually pre-shuffle this deck before we start recording. And now I'm actually just looking for some jumpers. So first I'm going to be looking to see if we have any unspoken messages from you to them. And then we'll see if we have any from them to you after that. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing seems to be coming up, I just take it as a sign to keep it moving, since it's just a general reading rather than force it or pull a random card or anything. So we'll see if we get anything. Like I said, first I'm looking for unspoken messages from you to them. Okay, nothing seems to be coming up, but I'll shuffle a little bit longer, see if we get anything. Okay, nothing there. So next I'll shuffle to see if we have any unspoken messages from them to you. Okay, it doesn't seem like anything's coming up here either, but I'll give it a couple more shuffles, see if we get anything. Alright, nothing there, so next we'll move on to the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And same situation here, I did pre-shuffle this one, so we're just looking for one card here, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, got one. Somebody else got this card recently too. It might have actually been Scorpio, but anyway, there it is. You guys got a leg up. There's the artwork, and the number is 34. If it was Scorpio, definitely watch their reading if you're dealing with a Scorpio, since we see a couple of Scorpio energies there too. So maybe that would give you some additional insight. But let's take a look at the messages. Scorpio or Cancer, I'm pretty sure it was one of the other water signs. Alright, it says essential meanings, receiving help, delegating authority, interdependence. The Oracle's message. You've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with who can give you a leg up during this next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all the areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles happen. Now is such a time. So, interesting message there, and again, maybe that's even what it was saying. Like I said, with all of that 10th house focus that you guys had recently, maybe that was it. You were just so focused on your career that maybe you were just completely, abandoning other areas of your life, and maybe it's saying that, you might have to be a little bit more open to connections in that regard. All right, the relationship, and maybe even that's what that Ten of Wands is saying too, that you had someone who was willing to put in the work and willing to help you, but maybe for whatever reason you were just so wrapped up in your own thing that you didn't really pay much attention. All right, the relationship message says, relationships that are healthy thrive on interdependence. It's important to recognize that you need others as much as they need you. You must allow people to support you just as you are there for them. This is a time to be vulnerable, to speak up about your needs, and to ask for them to be fulfilled. Trust. You will be met with kindness and love. Don't expect others to read your mind, though. Ask and it is given. So, pretty self-explanatory message there, but hopefully you guys got something from that. And as I was reading it, I realized it was Cancer actually that got this card. So if you're dealing with a Cancer, or if you have a Cancer placement as well, definitely check out that reading, because maybe it'll give you some additional pieces to the puzzle. I'll see if anything else comes to mind. But yeah, that's primarily what I was feeling. Like I said in the past, that you guys just might have been really wrapped up in your career and a bit closed off towards this person. And like I said, in the present, it does look like you're almost following the advice of that card anyway, which is to say you might be trying to reach out to them now. In the present, maybe the pressure has been alleviated from that area of life for you. And it looks like in the future, though, it looks like you might end up a bit indecisive anyway. So, but doesn't look like there's any animosity in the connection or anything, so there's that. So it looks like it could go good either way. But hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there. Happy holidays, and I'll see you all next year. All right, bye.